In the blink of an eye, 2 Japanese cities were reduced to rubble, claiming the lives of over 200,000 innocent civilians, a devastating aftermath that would haunt the world for generations to come. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki are etched in history as 2 of the most catastrophic events in human history. The world was already embroiled in the chaos of World War II, with the Allies and Axis powers locked in a fierce struggle for dominance. Japan, despite being heavily battered, refused to surrender, prompting the United States to consider a drastic measure to bring a swift end to the war. The Manhattan Project, a secret research and development initiative, had been working tirelessly to create the world's first atomic bomb. As the summer of 1945 approached, the stage was set for a tragic confrontation that would change the course of history. The decision to drop the atomic bomb was not taken lightly, with various factors contributing to the ultimate choice. The Allies had already suffered significant losses in their island-hopping campaign, and an invasion of the Japanese mainland was expected to be a bloody and protracted affair. The Soviet Union's declaration of war against Japan and the potential for a prolonged conflict also weighed heavily on the minds of Allied leaders. Meanwhile, Japan's military leaders remained resolute in their determination to fight on, despite the hopeless situation. As the days ticked by, the world held its breath, unaware of the horror that was about to unfold. On August 6, 1945, the first atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, was dropped on Hiroshima, followed by a second bomb, Fat Man, on Nagasaki 3 days later. The immediate effects were apocalyptic, with entire city blocks reduced to smoldering ruins and countless lives lost in an instant. However, as we delve deeper into the events surrounding the bombings, strange details begin to emerge. The Japanese government had been attempting to negotiate a surrender through neutral channels, but these efforts were rebuffed by the Allies. The Soviet Union's sudden declaration of war against Japan, mere days after the atomic bombings, raises questions about the true motives behind the Soviet action. Furthermore, the United States' decision to drop a second bomb on Nagasaki, just 3 days after the first, has been the subject of intense debate among historians. Some argue that the second bomb was unnecessary, as the Japanese were already on the brink of surrender, while others claim that it was a demonstration of the bomb's power, intended to intimidate the Soviet Union. The conflicting accounts and unexplained events surrounding the bombings have given rise to numerous conspiracy theories, each attempting to provide an alternative explanation for the tragic events. Among the various theories, 3 stand out as particularly credible. The first suggests that the bombings were a demonstration of the bomb's power, intended to intimidate the Soviet Union and prevent them from expanding their influence in the post-war world. The second theory proposes that the bombings were a necessary evil, required to bring a swift end to the war and prevent further loss of life. The third theory, more controversially, suggests that the bombings were a racist act, motivated by a desire to punish the Japanese people for their perceived barbarism. While each theory has its merits, it is essential to approach these claims with a critical and nuanced perspective, recognizing the complexity of the historical context. Despite the various theories and speculations, one fact remains certain: the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were devastating events that resulted in unimaginable human suffering. The bombings marked the beginning of the nuclear age, and their impact continues to shape global politics and international relations to this day. As we reflect on the tragic events of August 1945, we are reminded of the importance of promoting peace, understanding, and diplomacy in our increasingly complex world. The memory of Hiroshima and Nagasaki serves as a haunting reminder of the devastating consequences of war and the importance of striving for peace, a lesson that must be learned and relearned by each successive generation, lest we forget the horrors of the past and condemn ourselves to repeat them.